Kroot, Homeworld, Pesh. It's a vibrant world with evergreen forests and massive jagged mountains with extremely hostile environment. Kroot live either in the cities placed on top of massive jagged trees or by the sides of mountains. Physical characteristic: type: avian. Height: around 2.1 meters. Weight: 120 kilograms. Coloration: very diverse, usually green and brown. Diet: technically omnivore, but carnivore by culture. Senses: very good eyesight with partial infrared vision. Great sense of smell. Forms of communication: vocal, including sounds that can't be heard by human ear, rattling of quills, smell and pheromones. Reproduction: live birth, 10-month pregnancy. Lifespan: around 110 years, 12 years maturity. Special traits: Kroot have only one orifice, their mouth. As such, they eat and give birth through the same orifice. Kroot have amazing digesting system that can digest almost anything. The waste takes form of oily sweat that has special properties depending on what Kroot eats, and in part controlled by the Kroot. It can be used to leave trails of pheromones to mark their territories. Kroot gene exchange organ is on the palm of their hand. When rubbed into proper place on Kroot female body, counts as act of reproduction. Kroot have amazing ability of adapting DNA of their prey into their own bodies, gaining new abilities, organs and limbs. Depending on their diet, Kroot could devolve into an animalistic form locked into it by evolutionary misstep. Kroot have light, almost hollow bones. They also possess incredibly strong and muscle bodies. In fact, majority of Kroot weight are muscles. Those muscles can create a whip-like effect, allowing them to jump very high or punch with incredible force. Similarly to Adeptus Astartes, Kroot have the ability to view memories of the people they consume. Psychological characteristics: Kroot are predators and hunters by nature. They are a warrior culture with great desire for exploration and adventure, with evolutionary need of seeking new sources of good genes, pushing them forward. Kroot divide themselves into clans known as kindreds, with shapers taking role of their leaders. Those clans can count from as little as a dozen Kroot to multiple thousands. In some situations, clans work together, known as great clans or great kindreds. Reproduction is usually directed by a shaper, similarly to eating habits, and the young are raised communally by the clan. Kroot have rich culture with tribal markings, music, songs, specific weapons used, carved figures and runes. Kroot prefer to keep their history in oral form, mostly as songs or poems. Written documents are rare. Kroot are spiritual people with many beliefs. For example, they see themselves equal to animals and believe that spirit of an intelligent sapient being and animal are similar. They also seek hard and difficult prey, always seeking to be stronger, mocking hunting weak prey, or farming. Kroot do not have burials. Bodies of the dead or killed clan members will be cooked in tribal cauldron or eaten raw under direction of a shaper. Kroot believe that this way, spirit of the dead remains with the clan and will reincarnate among the future young. In this way, consumption of the enemy is seen as a sign of respect. In some cases, Kroot consume flesh of their allies, although within coalition proper a dead person should leave their desire or acceptance of their bodies being consumed by the Kroot in their will. Among the Tau, some Firecast warriors who served alongside the Kroot for a very long time gave their will to be consumed by their former allies. Act of consuming the Tau is seen as very special occasion, as consumption of Tau is forbidden by Shapers outside this one situation, because Tau were instrumental in saving Kroot from extinction by the Orcs. Despite their outward appearance of Kroot being a primitive society, they possess impressive industrial centers hidden within their mountains and can create massive void-capable vessels. By all accounts, the relatively low-tech society and harsh life was created by choice and is part of their culture. Since joining the coalition, very few Kroot went against their traditions and culture, moving towards science and technological progress. Those Kroot are outcasts and extremely few in number. There is, however, a vocal minority of Kroot who believe in balance between harsh traditional way of doing things and using technology. Known as Hareshians, after great Kroot warlord Haresh, they are responsible for reigniting few industrial Kroot sectors and development of few technologies aimed at making Kroot even deadlier. History. It's not known exactly when, but in distant past, Kroot established small interstellar empire with usage of advanced technology. However, this lifestyle went against their nature and natural abilities. As such, Kroot communally decided to lower their overall level of technology, which created a massive disparity between everyday technology of the Kroot, which is on pre-industrial level, and their ability to create massive void ships like Kroot spheres, which are comparable to Imperial battleships in size. Around 300 M39 Orcs that were on the run from Coalition forces after Orcs lost Third Coalition War passed through Perdus Rift and soon found themselves face to face with the Kroot. Kroot were seen as far more enjoyable enemy than Coalition soldiers, especially because Kroot were killing them in melee combat and didn't really use flamers, which allowed Orcs to reproduce and rapidly grow in number. In 304 Millennium 39, Coalition forces that were hunting Orcs passed through Perdus Rift and saw Orc ravaging Kroot territories. They joined the fight against the Orcs. Around 306 Millennium 39, Commander Stormtide, leader of the expedition, lured warboss of the Orc forces, Hronan the Cruel, onto her flagship in a desperate gamble. She lost her life to the Orc warboss who breached the bridge of her flagship. But before she died, she activated self-destruct protocol, bringing end to Orc warboss and his flagship. Soon after, more Coalition forces reached the Kroot space and fought hard to free it from Orc taint. Commander Stormtide is venerated by the Kroot to this day. Her eagerness to help the Kroot, her skill and finally sacrifice made her into a heroine and a martyr. Every single Kroot clan knows and cultivates songs venerating her bravery. After a victory over Orcs, Kroot joined the Coalition as a full member, and Coalition established a solid beachhead on the opposite side of a Perdus Rift. Since then, Kroot were a crucial ally on the other side of Perdus Rift, and their clans found homes all over the Coalition, chasing prey and chance to fight. Joining the Coalition. 322 M39. After victory over Orcs, Kroot officially voiced their desire to join the Coalition as a full member, and were quickly welcomed to its ranks. Status in the coalition: autonomous ally. Kroot, while being part of a coalition and comprehending the concept of a greater good, are very independent and self-sufficient. Their government and society is rather decentralized, which made a possibility of making them into a puppet an impossibility. On the other hand, the decentralization means that Kroot political power is rather spread out. Government. Tribal confederation. Each tribe, clan, kindred has their own shaper, which takes a role of a leader. If or when a collective decision is to be made, Kroot meet at shaper councils, where leaders of different tribes discuss and talk before sending representative or sending out their decision. Usually, because of the authority of such meetings, even the clans that weren't present accept overall rulings. Role within the coalition. Kroot play a role of scouts, warriors and mercenaries within the coalition. They don't really have much in terms of products to trade outside their own skill. However, coalition found many uses for them. Kroot clans can travel far with their war spheres or other smaller vessels, exploring distant regions of space. Coalition use them to map out new regions of space. Sometimes they are first to encounter new species or world. Their first contact, either peaceful or aggressive, provides a lot of useful data. And if given faction is aggressive, they can be easily fooled by Kroot apparently low technological level and be unprepared to meet the true might of the coalition. Kroot take a role of warriors and hunters. They are very closely tied with the Fire caste, who see Kroot as great allies to have. Kroot can work both in close range and melee combat, or take up a role of scouts and pathfinders. On some worlds, where coalition decided to limit their interactions with wildlife, Kroot take a role of hunters, providing meat to settlements in exchange for a cut of the profits, weaponry and housing. Water caste found Kroot ability of viewing memories of people they eat extremely useful in undercover operations and espionage. Intelligence services of the coalition have always few Kroot close at hand. As Kroot are somewhat tolerated outside the coalition space, even Imperial space in some cases, Kroot void ships proven to be very important in transporting operatives and agents of the coalition deep behind enemy lines. Kroot that served in courts of rogue traders or even radical inquisitors prove themselves a good source of information, assuming they will ever return to coalition and get paid enough to talk about things they know. Haresians, being more centralized and united group of clans, possess the greatest concentration of political power and influence. Kroot of those clans are extremely deadly by implementation of many different technologies and even augmentations. Many Haresians end up as members of coalition special forces.